Salute and welcome back to Let's Play Equinox. I am Jeff.
And I am David.
And I'm playing my harp.
Because you have 4 strings now.
Yes. This is the 5th level of the game. This is called Quagmire. It is a swampland, and it is awesome because it is also some sort of overgrown plant-like abandoned Victorian-esque house, which is why it's awesome.
That's awesome.
There is not a new gimmick to this one. I'm not remembering at the moment. We'll still have slidey blocks. We'll have a new kind of slidey block, which is the most devious thing in the game, but I'll point that out later.
Cool. Now
basically,
those
just
plants all kill you, right?
Yes. The plants are the new spikes. That is the boss room. We'll be coming back to that. First, a note on the... Oh, here's some insanely hard jumps. I will die a few times here. This is another angled jump. That is in fact possible, and you have to do it twice because you have to get out. That blue key up there will be necessary. A little bit note on the layout of Quagmire. There's 5 entrances. Sort of think of it as like arranged in a plus sign. There's a middle entrance and then one on each cardinal direction.
Yeah.
The middle one is the one we're in now. That has access to the boss room and to a number of keys, which we will collect all the keys, and then we will go out through the southwest. Yeah, the southwest entrance, and then we will be dropping in entrances, picking up things, dropping out, collecting tokens, all of that jazz.
Just to make it easy.
Yes, exactly. There's not as many keys as at Lena. Another thing you will notice is that the wooden blocks that are overgrown with vines are cylindrical, which the wrinkle this adds into the jumping puzzles is that now you do not have the exact edge like with these cube blocks.
So it still has the same
dimensions, yes. Those cylindricals, little cylinders there.
They still count as squares.
They're curvy, but they still count as squares. So you can, in fact, it will actually look like you can just lean off your entire shadow at some points on corners, but you'll still be able to, in fact, jump. That is something you'll need to get used to in order to get through this rather difficult level. There is lots of spikes in this level. We will not be going that way because we'll be coming from that way later.
So purple is still okay. You can touch that.
Purple is okay. That is a green tornado that killed me. The problem is it's because Glendaal's colorblind. I think it's sort of blended in at the background. So he's doing his best. These flat little I guess blossoms. I guess
they're flowers.
Little flowers of some kind. Those count as sort of 0.5 height. They're not quite a single height like these blocks and the cubes are. Let's see what's down here. Oh, yep, it's a spike. Okay. You think I would have remembered that, but I did that on purpose in order to demonstrate that if you jumped off at that angle, you would in fact die.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you weren't that good at this game.
You'd think that I could not remember the layout of the room from just seconds earlier. Fortunately, when you die, you start right back where you were, so
at least
I was able to get it on the second try.
At least it doesn't punish you mercilessly for your bad.
These are slidey blocks on the lower left and lower right. So just be aware of that. They will push you off pretty quickly, as I almost slipped and fell to my spiky planty doom.
Portcullis is dead.
Those portcullises. Portculli.
Portculli.
I'm going to portculli. I'm going to go with portculli. Portculli? The portculli?
Portculli. That still sounds like a dish.
They have a theme song. That's it. It's a short theme song.
It's just da da da. Okay, that's good enough.
It's just
That's portculli.
Yeah, there's a second and a third, but this would be a minor second. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's the first minor. Well,
it's a whole step and a half step.
Whole step and a half. It could be a number of things. I guess.
A minor scale.
Wait. Hold it. Shh. Okay. The portcullis.
Because a minor scale is a full step and then a half step. And
yeah. But I mean, there's other modes it could be.
Whole.
Just 3 notes. You can't really say.
Well,
definitely what the.
It would either be Aeolian, which is regular minor. It could be, it couldn't be Phrygian, and it couldn't be Locrian. If that's how it's starting.
It could be. Well, If you're assuming that the first note is tonic, then yeah, it limits
Well,
it.
if we're going with the first note is tonic, otherwise it could be...
This is an insanely hard jump, by the way. These platforms move.
Oh, wow.
Those are slidey. Those are slidey.
Flowers.
Yes, in
Slidey
fact.
flowers.
Although there is a portcullis in this room, so I'm gonna... There we go. Awesome.
Anyway.
So
how...
That is in fact a guitar tuned down to C, so...
Yeah, you like the slide tuning.
This, yeah.
More of a
For that heaviness. That heaviness.
More of the,
you could tell metal. It was especially metal because of the portcullis.
It's metal.
It is very metal.
Tungsten even.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe even heavy metal. Yeah, a heavy metal, you might say.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I do remember some
yes.
science, not all.
Not all. So far we haven't come across, aside from a few of the slidey blocks, nothing too terribly terrible, for lack of a better description.
Yeah.
These are asynchronous. It is best to wait for the one near you to attack down first, and then you can run across. Like so.
Oh.
That is the best way to do that. Make sure that I do not trip in the corridor of death. It's very important.
Lots of death corridors. So those are like... What is the name of that plant that has the really sharp leaves? Starts with a Y, yucca plant?
Yucca plant. I am not... Botany is not my forte.
Well, I learned it in Boy Scouts, which shows why I dropped out, because I don't remember.
Yeah, you have lack of memory.
But, I think it was like a yucca plant, because I remember slicing my leg open on it.
I don't have any experience with that, so I can't help you.
You don't like the outside.
I would make up a plant name. We'll call it razorweed.
Razorweed.
Yeah, it's razorweed.
Fair enough. But you don't like outside, so...
Not too much. I make, I think, a stupid jump on the back. Yeah. It's just it's a complete screw you, because you have to wait for it to float a little bit further so that you can, in fact, jump back onto it.
I love how you're just supposed to jump on it in the first place
exactly.
to figure out that it moves.
Yeah. But this one, fortunately, starts moving immediately. You should wait until we see the ones where they don't start moving until you just sit there for a few seconds.
Wow, that's
those are
screwed up.
There's some other awesome block tricks that we've not seen yet.
By awesome you mean?
By awesome I mean not awesome. Frustrating unless you know they're there. And this is me failing to get an apple, which I don't need. It's just sometimes I can't help what Glendaal does, because he really likes the fruit, so
Yeah.
I'm at this point I'm kind of yelling. I mean, this voiceover is not in it, but I was kind of yelling. I was like, "Come on, let's go! You don't need it. It's just a stupid apple." But he's like, "Quagmire has the best apples," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know that's true. Okay, you might as well just get the apple." It was a compromise.
You're trying to distract me before you die, kind of.
I did die.
Yeah.
Yes. This is another really hard jump. You know why? Because it is another angled jump. You have to get at the very edge without touching the spikes on the...
Because it's a 0.5 height.
Yeah, the 0.5 height. And you have to, just make a little bit extra room in order to clear the next block.
Well, at least you
because if you don't go far enough to the southwest there, you'll in those holes are spikes, of course.
Really?
Yeah. If there wasn't, actually, that would be worse, because you couldn't get out.
And oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That would be mean. Oh, look, there's a blob.
Yes, continuing to collect some another key extravaganza here. Poor blue blob. It has very low intelligence, maybe even none.
It is a slime.
This is an easy angled jump. How about that? Merciful. There was not like 1,000 spikes above and around you.
Yeah. Is there a room of 1,000 spikes?
Well, I mean, there was the one we saw earlier, first part.
Yeah, it
has quite a number of spikes in it. We'll be seeing that again. Yeah. Alright, I think actually pretty soon. In fact, right now. And these are also pushy blocks. Every other one pushes you a different direction. Except for that one. That one is not a pushy block. It is there. It's not. The first time you do it, you expect it to be a pushy block, so you jump early, and you die and you start over. All right, refreshing pause.
This
Yeah.
game is full of screws.
Yes, exactly. We will now go down to the white path. This is the southwestern portion of the Quagmire dungeon. We see here, these are the 1.5 times height pillars. Normal blocks are sort of 1 unit high. You have the half units, and then these are... I believe that those are 1.5. This part here, I recorded after every other thing I'd done until this point, because that room there is very, very bad for desyncing recordings. Apparently, it doesn't know what to do with those weird moving platforms. We will finally be able to use our freeze spell in order to solve this puzzle here.
You gotta freeze the ghost on.
Blink!
Yay!
And we will now ride its sturdy, ethereal head to token glory. As soon as, yeah, there we go. Runs out. Take up the token.
Yeah.
You now have 1 token.
Yay.
Good.
1 of 12.
It's good. I mean, it's good that we finally got a token after collecting keys.
11 minutes in.
You might have the idea to push that block down. That is not going to help you at all. You need the distance.
Die.
Also, the Portcullis is down there. I think we have a Portcullis, so it's the. You may be tempted to walk through them, but as you can see, there's no Portculli at the top. So why? Just don't do it.
They're
It's
just
no
there
point.
for you to kill yourself.
Yeah, you just see them and you're like, man, I have to time this. This sucks. And then you walk the other way and you're like, man, I suck.
And that's the only one that moves, I take it?
I do believe so. I haven't tried the other.
Back.
It's courteous. Okay, Glendaal is nothing if courteous.
He kills the people who own
This
these
has
houses.
a lot of spikes in this room.
Good lord.
This requires a crazy jump that I got on the first try, thankfully. As long as you're on the edge of the platform and you just throw yourself out there. This is actually a pretty frustrating room because these are all pushing in different directions. Like that one is pushing down and to the left. This one is pushing down to the right. And like is a common theme. I have no idea how I was able to jump back onto that.
That should have killed you.
Yes, that should have killed me. So that is an interesting glitch, if ever there was one. I'm glad I was actually able to record that because I didn't even think that was possible.
Well, it's good to know it happens.
Yeah. We're going to actually use our slow spell for once in this area in order to prevent the Portcullis from killing us. There we go. Normally you'd have to wait a little bit extra for the thing, go back and forth a few times. This is this first block here has the worst kind of... It's not pushing in one direction, it's pushing in a diagonal.
Oh god.
So rather than pushing you off, it completely screws you. This one goes back and forth. This entire room is just meant to mess with you.
Awesome.
It's well guarded. The sword, which is very powerful, however, is very slow moving and can only have 2 on the screen at a time.
Wow.
So this is... It's not as good as the twin knife, although it is more powerful. So that was an easy jump that I missed.
I love how you keep saying, man, this is such a hard jump. It's hard. You get it like first.
The first time, but then the easy ones I miss.
Mm-hmm.
I in fact later on in a later recording, for the most part, I go through these in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
But for one particular boss, I'll mention it when I get there. It's not this boss. I'd re-record it like 3 or 4 times just because it was so embarrassing. Because it was an easy boss. It was like, this is an easy boss. So I was just making like stupid mistakes. So like, oh come on, he's just so easy. He's almost dead. And then...
And you have to refight the whole...
Yeah. This is another deceptively hard jump because going too far will end up spiking you to death.
Spike.
Yeah. I will be using the sword, obviously, for the rest of this dungeon, but I will be very happy to replace it as soon as possible in the next.
Wow, that is slow moving.
It's very slow. I think it was mentioned before, but you do have 2 speeds with which you can throw. Standing still and moving forward produces slightly different velocities.
As in physics.
Yes, as in physics. Much like also in physics, by throwing it, it will stay completely straight and travel in a straight line.
Mm-hmm. Undeviatingly.
Undeviatingly. And with that, we are done with the second part. By which I mean the first part. because I can't read without my glasses on. Okay, we'll see you in part 2
See you guys
of
then.
Quagmire.